Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. Now, one of the congresswomen that we've been following for a long time is someone who just absolutely makes some people's skin crawl. You might know her as the congresswoman out of Minnesota, and her name is Ilhan Omar. She's a squad member, and she's best known for saying inflammatory things and really inciting rhetoric against American citizens and disrespecting our country. And a court case has just gone through that really makes her look absolutely terrible. But before we get into that, please like, share, and comment Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, Ilhan Omar herself has been under a cloud of ethical questions since the day she first got into office. The Somali-born congresswoman has simply just defied our norms, our standards, and in some cases our laws. And it's about time that she become under an even bigger microscope, because one of her staff members, his name is Guhad Hashi Saeed, who was considered to be a one-time enforcer for Omar's campaign, that's according to Alpha News, pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and one count of conspiracy to commit money laundering in a fraud scheme that exploited a federally funded child nutrition plan during the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, that is just sickening. Now, a statement that came out on this is that the conviction of the 52nd defendant in the Feeding Our Future case is yet another reminder of the vast reach of this fraud and the scale of the crisis we face in Minnesota, one of the prosecutors said there. So from December 2020 through January 2022, Saeed participated in a fraudulent scheme to obtain millions of dollars in federal child nutrition program funds. He and his conspirators received approximately $3 million from the scheme, and he'll be sentenced at a later date, but is expected to face 25 years in prison. But while Omar herself is not being implicated in the Feeding Our Future scandal herself, the conviction comes against a backdrop of past ethical and political controversies tied to the congresswoman. In 2019, the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board found that Omar's state legislative campaign had violated reporting requirements and improperly used campaign funds for personal expenses, ordering her to reimburse almost $3.5 thousand. More recently, House Majority Whip Tom Emmer called for an ethics investigation into Omar after a clip surfaced of her speaking Somali, which a translation circulated online suggested she prioritized Somalia's interest over those of the people of the United States. Emmer said that no sitting member of Congress should be able to blatantly spew anti-American rhetoric and get away with it. Well, hear, hear. He called on her to resign in disgrace over the Somalia First comments. Well, she hasn't resigned yet, and it's not the only controversy. Obviously, there's the whole just mind-boggling situation of her marrying her brother, it appears, and committing immigration fraud. So this Somalia-born congresswoman doesn't fit with our norms, our standards, or it looks like even our laws. And now one of her staff members has pled guilty to a fraud crime that could put him behind bars for 25 years. So what you really have to wonder here is how much due diligence are these Democrats really doing on their staffers? I mean, these people are getting access to taxpayer information. They can engage in all sorts of scams. They're getting insider information and the fast track on federal grants. So you have to think about how widespread this scam has been going on. I mean, she's not the only congresswoman to be brought up on on the radar of people who have corrupt offices. And that is, whether you're a Democrat or whether you're a Republican, this is very concerning. So Ilhan Omar, she needs to be closely watched for ethical and in some cases legal scandals. And this court case is just another red flag that Ilhan Omar, something is rotten in her office and it needs to be thoroughly investigated. So thank you for watching Explain America. Please weigh in with your thoughts. Thank you for watching.